Hello again, everyone. Joanne with StampingInTheValley.com, and welcome to my craft room. Before we go and play with this tree again, because I love this tree, I just want to tell you about the specials that we're having this month. These are my 2 free card kits for a $25 order. You will receive these 2 free card kits, no stamped images. There's a link below. You can watch the video. It's also a tutorial on how to put it together. Then if you order the ALPINE Adventure Bundle, these are the 2 free card kits for that bundle. You will not see that video on YouTube. It's an exclusive video. It's the first time I've ever done something like this, so I'm very excited about it. And I will send you those 2 free card kits also if you order the ALPINE Adventure Bundle. And you will receive the exclusive, what I'm calling Kickstart to Your Bundle video. I hope to do more of those, that it will help you to start to use your bundle. That's what I'm trying to accomplish there. But now let's talk about this sweet little card. I had to make some DSP. I fell in love with the little pine cones and the boughs. They're called, not bows, they're boughs. And these boughs right here on the tree. Like I did in my last video. I put clear wink of Stella on here, guys, but because the tree is crumb cake, it almost made it look like garland to me, almost gave it a little gold shimmer. So I really, really love that. Now let's look at what I've used today. Of course, I've used the Winter Woods bundle right here. This is in the new holiday catalog. If you are a customer of mine, you should have already received your holiday catalog. If you have not, please email me at joannemaddie@outlook.com, and I will be happy to send you one. If you are a new customer, if you are a first-time new customer of mine, I will always send you new catalogs. So you will get an annual catalog and a holiday catalog. Now, from the farmhouse dies right here, I use this little die right here because I love the stitching. I love stitching. I think that just makes an embellishment. I love that stitching on there. So I use that one little die from there, and it's this little one right here, and it has the stitching on it. And then Wishing You a Cozy Season came from the Homemade Kindness, which I haven't even used this yet except for this right here. I love this stove. It reminds me of my grandmother's house, so that was why I had bought that. But those are the couple of things that inspired me with this card. But I really wanted to do some DSP with you guys. So we're going to start with a base of Cajun Craze, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, so it opens just like this. My inside piece, and I put my little pine cones on here, I just love them, is 4 3/4 by 3.5. My outside layer that we are going to make DSP with is 5 1/4 by 4, and they are both of Very Vanilla. My card also, or my envelope also, is Very Vanilla right here, and I just put my little pine cones on them. How sweet. I've done most of this for us, but I just want to do the stamping with you guys. So here's the inside piece, okay? And I'm going to get my little pine cone, and here's the little bottom of it. And I've got my crumb cake and a garden green open to the side here. And I'm just going to stamp down here in the little corners, or in a corner, and then up here in that corner, just like that. Okay, and that's our inside piece. Now, the outside piece is a little bit different of the card, and I'm going to move some scrap paper in because we're going to be going off of the page. So I have the little bow here, and I just love the fluffiness of it, but I want a little bit bigger of a scrap piece. There, let me get this right here for us. And I'm going to do that and then put this up here because the garden green is a very vibrant color, and I want my green to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to stamp off first, ink it up, stamp it off, and stamp it on. Okay, so let me show you how we do that. Go into your garden green, stamp it off to get that deep color off of there, and then stamp it on, and that's the lighter version. It's called the second generation of the ink. See how that is? So really, with all of your ink pads from Stampin' Up, you have very, very many colors that you can be doing with these ink pads because you can stamp them off a couple of times and get different variations of color. Now I'm just stamping this all over my page, leaving enough space for my pine cones. I absolutely think those pine cones are adorable. Okay, I like that. Well, let's put one more right here, right there, okay? Just like that. So kind of all over the page, whimsical, just here, there, everywhere, doesn't matter. Then we're going to take our little pine cone, and that's going to go into crumb cake, and this I'm going to do full strength. I'm not stamping off, but I might go off the page, you know, to where it looks like you've cut DSP. So I'm just stamping these all over the place, and it doesn't matter however many you want. You can do a lot, a little, fill it up, leave some space. No rhyme or reason to it. Put one, let's see. That might be good enough for us, right? Do we think one here? So you don't want to get too crowded. No, I think we're good. I like it. Just like that. Okay, we'll leave that just as that. And let me move these out of the way. I've already made my elements because I showed you in the last video how to make that tree. So let's bring our card base in. Again, it's your Cajun Craze at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and it will open like this, okay? And we're going to take our inside piece, and I'm going to put this down with snail. There's no embossing or no raised anything, so you can use your snail on this. And I just kind of put it right in here, leaving a nice border around, just like that, okay? Now on the outside piece, the first thing we want to do is to get our linen thread. Let me close this ink before we have a disaster. Usually by now I'm totally inked up. Okay, so now what we want to do is to take this piece and we want to wrap our linen thread, anything that you want to use, around the top of the card 3 times. I always work off of the spool or the cardboard. It tends to save a lot of product. Now I just leave a nice tail here, and I just take this and I wrap it nice. Okay, just like that. So that I basically have, let me unwind a little bit more of that and have a little bit more play. So I want 3 little sections here of baker's twine and 3 on this side, okay? So you're going to just bring this in and you're going to tie a bow. And usually, like, I make sure that this is like under here so that it kind of holds this twine together. You know what I'm saying? I just wrap it just a little bit, okay? And I want my bow over on this side of the paper, okay? Just like that. Let's see, did I lose one? I did. Let me start from scratch again. Sometimes I just get tangled up. Okay, right there. 2 and 3. Okay, there we go. Okay, now then right here on the side, I'm just going to take this little tail right here and just wrap it around my linen thread, just to give me a little bit more security when I tie my bow. That's all that does. Okay, pull it just a little bit and get your slack out of it. Just like that. Sometimes you just got to fool with it just a little bit, and it's okay. Okay, now just tie my bow right here. And then of course my bow is way too big, so this is where I adjust it and I pull in my tails. Okay, this is what's great about working off of a spool or the cardboard, is I will show you we waste nothing. Okay, I make my bow the size that I want. I take my tails, I kind of pull them together, get my snips, and just give it a snip. And really, this is all that I've wasted right here, which is nothing. Okay? Now, I'm going to move this aside. Get this out of the way. And I want to bring in a glue dot. Now see how this, I want 3 on this side, and then I want this to fan out to 3 on this side. Okay? So sometimes you might just have to manipulate it just a tad bit with your fingers. That's all, just like that. Okay? And just make it the way you want it to look. Now over here, I just take my pokey tool and I've got a little glue dot because I don't want this bow moving around. And I want to manipulate it into such a position. Okay? So I'm going to put my glue dot here, and you're not going to be able to see this. And then I'm going to put my bow right into it and see how I've manipulated it to go one way. Okay? I still want that to come out just a little bit. Okay, just like that. Now when we put our pine cones over here, it will really hold that bow in place. Okay. Now what we're going to do right up here is I've already cut my pine cones and I put mini dimensionals on the back. I stamped the crumb cake on crumb cake. I ran it through the Big Shot, and I want to put two crumb cakes on the top. How funny. 2 pine cones on the top, and see how it's going to hold that bow? Just like this. Okay. And 1 on the bottom. And I'm going to turn that one a little bit, but I want my knot to show right there. And you could always put a little embellishment there if you wanted to. I just wanted it really woodsy, so I didn't use any type of embellishments. Now, I'm going to go ahead now and flip this over, and I'm going to put my snail down. And I want you to go over your twine with your snail. Okay? Really get some good adhesive on it, on your twine. See how I'm just kind of getting the snail on it? I'm out of snail, of course. I'm on camera. Why would I not run out of snail? I can craft and craft and craft in here. The minute I get on camera, I promise you, I run out of something. Okay, so that's the way that that goes. And you see I've got my snail really covering my twine there, okay? And you don't see it. It just keeps it in place. And bring my card base in. And let's put our pretty DSP down with our cute little pine cones just right there, guys. And look how nicely it holds that twine down, okay? Now, I've already made my tree right here. Isn't that pretty? And you can watch the video before this. We'll show you how to put this tree together. I wanted to incorporate some of that twine right there. And I've got my dimensionals on the back. I made my wishing you a cozy season. Just like that. I'm going to put it right here. And we are done with this card. Isn't that adorable? And I loved making the DSP. Absolutely loved making the DSP for this. Thank you so much for watching and being with me. I sure do appreciate you guys. Please go to stampinginthevalley.com. There'll be a list of everything that I used with this card. You can just click on it and order your items. Click on the big blue button and you can place any and all of your Stampin' Up! Supply orders. And happy crafting.